All right, I thought the other night I'd write down some questions I'd ask you so I could remember everything. Uh, what can you remember about, as far back as you can remember, like when you were a little boy? Can you remember about?
Yeah, I can remember back the old time places we lived, here and there.
Yeah.
And I can still remember places we lived when I was going to school. I remember them all.
Like when you lived in, by Farmersville?
Yeah, no, we lived at Sister Grove. That was our first home, was Sister Grove. We lived in the Sister Grove community, and I went to Sister Grove school there. I didn't start, used to, they didn't let children go to school till they got 7 years old. And I went to school, there at Sister Grove I had about 13 years there, living there. Of course, I didn't start till I was 7 years old, as I say.
Yeah.
When we left there, my daddy sold the old home place that he bought, and he sold it. I don't remember exactly who he sold it to.
Remember what year that was?
Yeah, in 1960.
1960.
Then
You were about 10 or 11 years old then, right?
yeah, I think I was, when I left there, I'm not sure, just thinking, but when we stayed at the old home there, I think I was 16 years old, or getting up nearly that old, but I got to thinking later that it couldn't have been, because if I had been 16, I wouldn't have been going to school. So we left there, sold out, my daddy really, and he really wanted to come there and move in there and do the best he could with the old place, because he hadn't been found and no telling when. So he moved us over there in a regular rat den in an old house where a gin pool used to be. There used to be an old farm and gin there, but they had all blown away, and they moved everything, boiling all away.
Yeah.
And I went to school there.
She goes to kindergarten this year. It's half a day. And when she goes,
Moved in there, and we lived there then till either 1918 or 1919. Then we moved again.
Yeah.
And we moved in.
Or substitute teach.
My daddy, he always bought our shoes at old man Billy's shoe store, and them red wearing shoes. We bought our shoes there.
Was that in Farmersville?
Yeah, in Farmersville. That's our in Farmersville. And then we moved from there then on the old man's place alone. He had an old place, an old Johnson Grass place.
Was that the Carver place?
He told my dad.
He started that up. Just
No, it wasn't the Carver
for me to
place.
stay home.
Oh, the Blue Ridge?
Huh? No, you getting ahead time. This is back before then.
Didn't
Boy.
used to be this bad all the time.
You were just a small boy.
Daddy, why don't you come over here and sit by him?
Maybe that's it.
You was a small boy, dog. 1921. You was born 1921.
No, I was
And
born
I'm talking about
1920.
now,
Somewhere.
back before then.
Can you scoot over little Uncle Alvis and let him come in so I can get both y'all's pictures?
Okay. Which way you want me?
Scoot back this way.
Okay, it'd be easy, because he's coming in this way. You know, I have trouble too, getting up and down. I get you plenty of room.
Pays other people to help him, so he still makes about a fourth of what he, on each place, pays us about 3/4 of it. Does it like that.
Where I see this a little bit better.
More good.
We moved to Nashville, 1923. And I don't remember sure whether Dory was old enough then to go to school. I don't think he was, because he just really dixie taught.
When we moved together, I was 3 years old.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You was real young. The reason I thought it, I went out and was hauling wood out of the barn. And I had a little old thicket over there, and I went there and chopped up some wood and got it and brought it back. And while I was up there, somebody had hauled off an old cow there and then this strip of wood, and she got it away, and the possum didn't get it. And I caught a young possum.
Well,
Yeah.
she's got toys everywhere.
What'd you do with it? Eat it?
Oh,
I keep
Put
thinking
it
of.
soaked them in ashes and take the hair all off of them and clean them real good. And put some sweet potatoes around them. And I eat the sweet potatoes, but I couldn't eat the possum. But Dory, he just eat it with both hands.
Really?
And he liked possum. Nearly every time then I'd go to the woods, he said, "Did you catch another possum?" I said, "No, I don't want no more possum." He come and said, "Oh, Babbitt," he called me Babbitt. "Babbitt, I like possum. I want you to keep bringing another possum."
He called you Babbis, huh?
Yeah, he called me Babbitt, place Alvis. He couldn't speak.
Couldn't say Alvis.
He couldn't speak plain. J.C. could always speak title plain, but Dory, he didn't speak exactly real plain. He called me Babbitt.
Well, it seems like when I was
That was when he was pretty little, huh?
Oh, yeah.
you know, it was
Yeah,
always.
I got along good with the young'uns, because the young'uns younger than I was. I loved them, played with them, and I wasn't rough with them like some people would. Some of the young'uns just alone, you know. Of course, Frank, he was a little older than I was. Me and him fought lots of times.
I heard someone say,
Real quiet, because y'all are gonna be louder
oh,
than that.
Of course, you could expect to be knowing anything about school at 3-year-old, but we didn't stay there but 2 years.
At where?
Yeah, we stayed there in Nazareth 2 years, made 2 crops there, and that's when I got up to where I was picking cotton real good. That year, I think I picked over 300 pounds of cotton, and that was something more than any of the youngers had been able to do. He congratulated me real big. He wasn't no cotton picker either. He couldn't pick no cotton.
Who was it?
Daddy,
Oh.
he couldn't pick no cotton hardly at all. He wouldn't even try to pick cotton hardly.
He just bossed y'all?
Frank, he wasn't lazy, but Frank, if he picked 125 pounds a day, he done good. And I was picking over 300.
Yeah. What'd you pick, Dave?
And Dory wasn't big enough.
Oh, you were too
Dory
late.
wasn't able enough, old enough at all, him and J.C. either. And I don't think Emily was just pick very little herself in days time. Now, 1924 then, when we moved up Blue Ridge, over at Frog Knot, brother,
My grandma.
where the old graveyard was. We had an awful good time there and raised a pretty good crop.
Did y'all always raise cotton?
1924, I got where I could pick 400 pounds of cotton a day.
Did y'all always raise cotton? Is that all y'all raised was cotton?
No, we raised lots of corn, and my dad raised some hay, some heavy feed.
What was your daddy like? What was your daddy like?
Oh, he was a small person, and he got crippled when he was a boy, and he was all caved in.
How'd that, what
He
happened?
walked with a hump in his back.
Is that when the ox wagon ran over him?
Yeah, that's what back there, and that's what happened. Ox wagon. He fell down there, was in the mud hole, and he was pushing up on the side of the wagon. And when they did get out of the mud hole, they speeded up real quick, why it snatched him down, and he fell in on the edge of it, and the
Every time.
wheel rolled over him.
Was he a grown man after this happened, or when he was a little kid?
Oh, he was young. He was just a boy. I don't know how old he was.
When he still lived in Mississippi, right?
Yeah, still lived in Mississippi when all that happened. And they was hauling logs. That's what they was doing. They were hauling logs out and selling them.
Yeah, I've been to Charleston, and they do a lot of logging up there. There's a lot of trees.
They used to have they used to have a big sawmill there too, so I understood.
Yeah. Did you ever hear them say why they moved to Texas?
Well, the first beginning of it, Bob Moorhead, he was Mississippian.
Yeah.
He's brother-in-law of Daddy. He come to Texas.
He came first?
Yeah, I believe he was the first to come to Texas, to see Texas. And he wrote back telling them how beautiful it was and how good a farm man it was. And how easy everybody could find a place to farm.
So him and Aunt Mary Jane were already married then, and they came?
Yeah, yeah, they married in Mississippi just like Mom and Daddy did.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't know what year it was for sure, but I do know when Daddy and Mama was born. Daddy and Mama was born. Daddy was born in 1980. I mean, 1880.
Yeah.
Mama was born 1882. She was 2 years younger than Daddy.
Yeah.
And Frank and Edward was born there in Mississippi in an old log cabin. There's an old log cabin there. Both of them was born there. And then later on, I was born there. But I was only 3 years old when we landed in Texas.
So you wonder how y'all came to Texas. Did they ever talk about how you came? What kind of, would y'all use to travel in, by train or by a wagon, or, you remember them talking about it?
Yeah, we crossed the river bridge and on ferry. And then they drove through the wagon. Yeah, wagon. Dick Donahue, Uncle Dan, Aunt Caroline, Mama's sister, Aunt Caroline. She's buried over in the graveyard. Well, I'm gonna be buried.
Did she come with y'all, or they come?
No, we didn't come together. They came before my daddy did. J.M. Donahue and Bob Moorhead came before my daddy did. he was, and the third one son was my dad. Then Uncle John, he come in. 1913, he come into Texas.
Okay.
And so Papa rented a place to him, and he had a house rented, he had a place rented, there was 2 houses on it. He let Uncle John move in.
Did him and Aunt Minnie marry up there in Farmersville or Collin County somewhere?
No, they was all married in Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they was all married in Mississippi.
Okay. I hadn't been able to find any record of Uncle John and Aunt Minnie when they got married. I didn't know if they married in Mississippi or in
Yeah,
Texas.
they married in Mississippi. Sure did. I know that for sure.
Did you ever hear your daddy talk about having a brother named Dave?
Dave,
Yeah. The reason I asked because I found a lot of records, and I found a census record that showed that they had a brother named Dave. And I think he died young, but he was living, in 1910 he was 17 years old. And they were all still living in, no, it wasn't 1910, it was 1900. They were all still living in Mississippi, and he was 17. I know that's not right either.
I've never heard anything of that, but Mama had a brother, he buried up there, and he died when he was 23 years old when he died, so I understand.
That was Billy Shannon, right?
He's buried, that's Uncle Billy.
Yeah.
He's buried there right beside it. I don't know whether Uncle Billy lives on his lot or that he's on Bob Moorehead's lot or he's on, that was his lot. I don't know who bought the lot and where it was. See, I was real young myself when Uncle Billy passed away.
Wonder what happened to him.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia got him.
Died with double pneumonia, just like Granny's dad did. Mama told me that old man, she never had no day of being sick.
Now, who was this you're talking about?
That's Granddad, Papa's daddy.
Oh, okay, he died of,
My mama said she never did know him being sick.
and he died of pneumonia too?
Yeah, double pneumonia.
Yeah.
And he, as old as he was, they claimed they could have saved him if he hadn't been double pneumonia. They could probably save him, and they had to hog tie him and carry him to the hospital. He didn't want to go. He fallen. That's what Uncle John and Uncle Jim told me.
Yeah.
They had to carry him in. He wouldn't hear it go. They just loaded him up and take him in the house.
So did they go back to Mississippi when he got sick? When he died? I think he died in the early 30s. Did y'all hear about it when he died? Did somebody write y'all, or you remember how you found out about it?
Yeah, we heard about it through some of the grandchildren, I think. I believe some of Aunt Minnie's folks heard about his death.
Yeah. But y'all didn't go out there to the funeral, right? Nobody went?
No, we sure didn't. We sure didn't.
Didn't have no way to go. Well, y'all might have even been living at Lovefield at that time in the 30s.
When Papa passed away, Papa passed away, I forget exactly where Uncle John was living, and Uncle Jim was in Mississippi. They both come out.
Yeah.
Uncle Jim and Uncle John too. And they went to the funeral.
That was in 1946, right?
No, 19. Daddy died in
I got all that down then.
46.
46, 1946. I wasn't married when Daddy died. I don't think I was. Let me see. Yeah, I was married in 47, 8. 47, I believe it was. And my baby, because I know my baby will be 50 years old on their birthday.
So she was
Her
born in
birthday is the 19th December.
of 1947?
I married Rockwall, Texas, 1947.
So Laura Ellen was born in 47 or 48?
She was born the last 19, on December 19th, in 48, I believe it
Oh,
was.
okay.
No, she was born 47.
Something tells me she, but
Sorry, Clifford,
it
she was
didn't
born
tell me.
47.
It couldn't hardly been because I wasn't married that long. I don't remember just exactly what month it was, but I do know when I got married, it was sure enough, weather was cold.
Yeah.
We married at night, we went in and found out where the preacher lived, him and his wife, and we woke him up. He was up on the bed.
Get up and marry us,
Woke
huh?
him up to marry her.
Sleeps real late.
We had bought her a license about a day or two before.
She'll stay till midnight.
Did your mom ever talk about the Shannons? Her mom and dad? You know anything about them? I haven't been able to find.
That was wonderful, and often wondered why she didn't. All I ever found out, and that was in 1924, I got to wondering myself, and I gave the question mark.
Yeah.
And I asked her about her daddy. And she says, Alvis, says, I don't want to talk about my daddy, because he is my daddy. And what happened, he went to war, he was in the war, and Papa's granddad, Papa's daddy too was in the war.
Yeah. He was in the Civil War.
Yeah, they were both in it.
So your grandpa Shannon was in Civil War too?
Yeah, he was in there. And just the way Mama talked about it, was while he was in the army, she said he never did come back home. He married again,
Oh, okay.
and another woman. And I seen him once. Eugene Shannon. I didn't even know she had a half brother, but I seen him.
Eugene Shannon.
Yes, when L. Shannon died, it was buried. I went to the funeral, and I met him there.
When who was buried? Riddell?
L. Shannon,
Oh,
Mama's
okay.
brother.
Yeah.
He lived at Commerce.
And they had a half brother named Eugene.
Yeah. And that's where she come up with a half brother. I found out she had a half brother, and his name was Eugene. And I saw him when Radio 7 passed away.
Well, I wonder where your grandpa Shannon lived when he got back from the war.
I don't know.
Was it in Mississippi or
Yeah,
think he moved away?
They lived Water Valley, close to Water Valley. All of them, Mama, Daddy, and all of them raised up there.
Yeah.
Mama and Daddy kind of growed up close by.
Yeah.
And when they got grown, they married. I believe Mama said she was about 19 years old when they first got married. I got a picture of them at home, and they both look real young. Daddy was a fiddler. I remember by accident, I found out that through May, Doreen's wife, she found a little old bitsy, I believe it was a Methodist, and she thought it looked like somebody, and she wanted, she had to develop,
Yeah.
and sure enough, it was ill. She sent it to me, and sent me a picture of him, and I taken it and had it enlarged. And I got the picture now.
Yeah, I think I seen that.
Yeah, but I wasn't there, I wasn't born. And I taken Edward a picture of it after enlarging. I taken him on the enlargement. And he couldn't see good. And I said, he said, who's that? To me, he said, who's that holding me? I said, that's Papa. That's your daddy holding me. Well, who's holding Frank? I was holding him, she said. He couldn't see well enough to tell it was Frank because he's babies. They're babies. I said, that's Frank. He looked at me and looked at the picture. He said, well, where was you at? I never will forgot it. I said, don't you remember? I said, I wasn't even born.
She was probably pregnant with you though during when that
and
picture.
all little, and I still got that picture.
Yeah.
And I right now sitting up on a big picture frame. Sitting up there. I got a whole horde of pictures. Yeah.
Didn't you tell me one time that your mom lived with somebody named Captain Hit? You remember that?
Yeah, that's where
After her daddy
that
left?
old doctor, old Captain somebody, I can't call his name exactly.
I think you said Captain Hit one time, and I wrote it down.
And Captain something, I know that. He was a Long Island man is what he was.
So she lived with him after her daddy,
Captain man.
her daddy died, or after he left, or whatever.
She was her and her mama died, and mama's mama died. Just left him alone. El Shannon and mama was left alone.
Yeah.
And that old doctor taking them in. Some of the rest of them wasn't able to keep them. They was adopted out. His old man adopted them. And that old hound dog, fella, he adopted them.
Yeah.
His adopted father. She said that old man was
I can't see all of you. This is my dad, Dwight Cloninger. He's a fireman, but he acts weird. And this is the first day.
What is the holdup?
And my dad just said, what's the holdup?
And that's where they got away from him. They got grown and got married. He released them. She said he's a pretty good old fella. He treated them pretty nice, except you're feeding them the whole hound dog. So I feeding them all the little hound dogs all the time. Said he had, one time he had 16 hound dogs. Imagine, that's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Look at it.
That's a bunch of them. Who moved to left field first? Who in your family moved there? Didn't Uncle Edward move out there first?
Yeah, Edward was the first in line. He moved to Love Field in 1924. I went to work down there. And so later on in years, I stayed at home, moved around with Daddy, and I just can't think to tell you all the places he lived at. But anyhow,
When did you move to Love Field?
do
You
what?
remember when you moved to Love Field? Was it right after Uncle Edward did?
Yeah, no, it was just a little while. 1926, I stayed with Daddy. Well, from 1926, I went down there, and then I went down there, I worked about a year and a half. My papa got sick, wasn't able to work, and me and Merkel went up there and moved him down.
Moved him to Dallas?
Yeah, moved him to Lovefield. Moved him to Lovefield.
Did you like working in that cotton mill?
Yes, I worked 21 years for him. I like it fine. And I got a workmanship pen at Laura's house. She said she had it put away. I tried to get her to get it out and let me wear it. I wanted to wear it. Because I had 21 years of workmanship pen.
Daddy, you worked there for about
Laura
14
worked
years,
there.
didn't you? You worked there about 14 years, didn't you?
I worked there from 1936 to 1948.
Yeah.
And I moved to McKinney and worked up there 2 years.
The whole family worked there, didn't they, for a while?
Yeah,
That's
everybody
when I left them. That's when I left them. That's when I left them. When they left there, when I left there, they should go into McKinney. I went to Fieldtown, down to Fieldtown.
And that's down by Kaufman?
Yeah,
Kaufman County?
yeah, it's in Burleson Tx. There's a long ways out of Kaufman.
About what year was that when you moved away from down Love Field?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it. 1948.
48.
I like it, cause I'm home.
The reason I know it's 48, we moved on Jeff Steele's place, where I lived a long time. I forget how many years I lived there. I had, on my discharge, I had $1,700 coming to me. And they wanted to give it to me by workmanship, training me how to farm.
Oh, yeah. How long did you stay in service?
I stayed in service. I was in there, I think I was in there longer than Dog was. Didn't I get out before you did, or you
You
did?
got out before I did.
That's what I was thinking, you were the ACU. Of course, y'all went in last time, did you?
Oh, yeah, a long time.
There was 4 of y'all brothers in there at one time, right?
Yes, me, Marco, Boy, and I guess they would have had plenty if they had a little bunch of children, but they didn't get him. But he was really too old. I was right on the point of being too old to be drafted when I first went in.
But you was drafted though, right?
Yeah, I was drafted before then. I wasn't, let me see, I drafted in 1941. That's when I was drafted.
So you was how old then?
Well, I was done past 36 years old. 37 was the top.
Yeah.
And I was in service 2 or 3 times and drafted me once. And then they found out they wanted to get me just in for 1 year. They wanted to hook me. They turned us all out over the age. Yeah, they turned us all out.
Yeah.
And Les Father went back to work, worked 3 months, and they bombed Pearl Harbor. The Jap bombed Pearl Harbor,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
4 days from then, I got a notice to load up and come to Camp Blandon, Florida. Back to duty.
Yeah. I mean, they'd already let you out and you had to
Yeah.
go back.
That's what they did it for. I just in for 1 year.
Yeah.
And they called me back. I was in for recall, you see. And they recalled me. And I worked for 3 months at the old cotton mill after I got back, and that snatched me out again.
Huh.
Old Jim Humphrey cussed up a storm because I was kind of his right-hand flunky. Oh, man.
And you got married pretty soon after you got out of the service? Or did you get married before you went?
I married halfway after I got out. I'd been there a while after I got out. I got out in 1945, and Daddy died just a little while after I got home. It wasn't a long time while he passed away. He wasn't home too long. I was living with him and Mama. It wasn't long.
Make sure you tell them, okay?
Did you meet Aunt LaRota at Love Field? Did they live down there? Did Aunt LaRota live down at Love Field? Is that how
Oh,
y'all
yeah,
met?
she was working at Cotton Mill. I know her and her husband too real well. My old husband, he used to run around with me back in the forties in the honky tonks around there. And I quit taking him with me because I count, because I know he had a wife. And finally he just run off with that woman he was running around with. And his mama got after him and tried to talk to him. He wouldn't even talk to her. He said he loved that woman better than he loved himself. So she left him, I think, was. That stinking man was something else.
No good, huh?
Yeah, he was a no good drinker.
That's what it is.
Then after Ellen was born, after Laura was born, he kept coming by the house and stopping off there when I was going out somewhere hunting or something.
Oh, we got in what, good family party.
My mama, my wife told him,
Favorite times when people tell me.
I want you to stay away from here.
I remember one time I told him.
Because I don't tell anybody, so I hate your look. Stay away. Well, he kept coming back time to after that. And I remember she wanted me to buy her a gun. And I bought her a little shotgun, 14. And she said, I'm going to use it on him. I said, no, don't you shoot him. I said, don't do that because you get in trouble. Maybe you scare him away.
Run him off.
So he come back, and she told him, she made the door. Said, you stay away from here. I told you you was going to stay away from here. And she had the gun with her. And he stayed away, boy. Never did come back.
Yeah.
Only dropped back by after I moved to Peeltown. And Billy Matt, he was hollering from ground out there like close to the road. He went out there, stopped him, and said, boy, don't you know who I am? He said, He said, yeah, I know who you are. He said, well, I'm your daddy. He said, no, you ain't my daddy. My daddy's in the house. He said, you better get going. I'll go tell him. He left out. He never did come back no more.
Run him out, huh?
Yeah, he told Billy Mack. Billy Mack said he was in doctors when he got married. And the little fella didn't know nobody but me.
So how old was Shirley and Wendell then?
I think Wendell was nearly 8 years old. And Shirley, of course, was probably just 2 years old.
Yeah.
She was about 6 years old. And there's a long period between them. Billy Mack, I don't know why it was. There's a long period between them.
They said I can see.
Wendell and Shirley was very far apart from their age.
We just felt so sorry.
Well, can you remember any other stories your mom and dad talked about Mississippi? Where they lived or anything else you
No,
remember?
not just some stories my mama told me and brought up at the table one time. Daddy was a fiddle player.
Yeah.
And, he was a pretty good fiddle player too. And he'd go around all through the neighborhood, neighbors' house, and they'd have parties and dances. They'd dance and have a big time. And they'd always take us kids with them in the wagon.
Yeah.
And sometimes he'd drive 10 miles to visit somebody in a wagon. Maybe at night. He carried on, he carried a pallet along. And they'd all take us kids after we eat, drink a little bit of stuff, eat ice cream and stuff. Then they'd put us to bed in the back room on a pallet.
Yeah.
And then they'd dance and drink a little. Daddy drank a little whiskey along. But he never did get drunk, but he drank. What he sure did look funny when Mama told about him going to a date. When he comes back, he was drunk, and the old mule dumped the mud hole, and the mule come in
Yeah.
about him, and they seen him, and some of the other family took the old mule, got on him, and run back to hunt him, and they carried another mule, because they knowed he was off somewhere drunk. And they found him right there in that mud hole drunk.
Couldn't get out,
Too
huh?
much whiskey. The mule dumped him. He looked so funny. I know he looked across the table at me. And he said, "Oh, Heather," he called her Heather.
Yeah.
What do you want to tell that for? He didn't lie.
He denied
What
it.
about him? He didn't deny anything he was guilty of.
Yeah.
I know she must be, I say, no,
Was he a pretty good fiddle player? Did you ever hear him play?
Yeah.
Was he a pretty good fiddle player? Did you hear him play?
Oh yeah, he was known around the country as a real fiddle player.
Joey, if
And
y'all
he
got
could,
to
I
stop the
remember, he
place, we
could
need to
play
go.
real good. He could play some of them old timey songs, Sally Goodman, and the old Dan Tucker, the fine old man,
Yeah.
and I forgot how it goes, and some more about some Billy wrote. He had a lot of just those short
I'm
tunes,
sorry, hand water, all my
and
little.
he played them. And oh my, I heard it. I remember well, he was sounded pretty good to me. Of course, I just a little younger, but I was small.
So he didn't play his whole life, after he got
No, he
older?
didn't play it all the time. It just once in a while. They'd have a party and some of them invited him to come and play. Some of them people that knowed him real good. And people knowed him all around the country, through the country. They knowed him wide.
All right, well, we better go ahead and quit for now.
That's what I need to transplant them and get them stuck, restuck. I mean, they're just falling, they're so dead.
They're sure expensive. You don't know. I think it's, yeah, it's even, they're, for Alversons now, they're like $4.99 a piece or something.
What happened Uncle John, I don't know. I was told he just shoot and died.
Was he old?
He was pretty old. I think he's buried in Grenada County, house over graveyard.
Grenada County?
And I wouldn't be sure. met a woman in Hall.
That matches up what he's saying because
She didn't know me, and
there's a JH that's buried with Gerald and Gerald's kids. All it says is JH, so it could be John Henry, but there's no dates. I figured that was probably him. In Paul's Cemetery, and it's close to Chiltoba, but it's pretty close to Grenada too. That's close to Big Town.
he's a pretty ripe old age when he died.
Was he a lot older than she?
Now,
Was he older than she?
oh, he was a lot older than she was.
That's how she got married a couple more times.
See, he had 3 children, and she was just a teenage girl.
You're getting a history lesson on here. Always.
I think they got married real young.
I got a pretty good one yesterday. They didn't have a camera.
When I married first time.
My mother's grandmother was only like, my mother's mother was only 12 years old when she got married. So back then, they got back young and gone.
Yeah.
How was her when she had her first
I need to spend the whole day with her. I need to.
Yeah, I do too. My oldest sister is, oh, you're talking about
I got him Friday
my
night.
grandmother.
Did you come to,
Yeah. I got him
Her
right after
oldest
y'all
son
had.
was
Yeah. I got lost.
Daddy's age. He was the same age as my daddy.
I got
So,
lost.
and Daddy's 90. Lord, I don't know. It'd be hard to say. I think my mom was only probably 15 or 16 when her and Daddy got married. But my grandmother on my mom's side she was normal, and she was taking care of her brother. I think it was 2 brothers. She was taking care of them, and she was only like 12 years old. And my grandfather met her somewhere in Indiana or Illinois or somewhere like that, and just took care of her, And so they got married.
He had 3 daughters.
3 daughters. Let's throw her Lois.
He had 2 young ones and 1 old.
I did.
He married grandma's brother.
One of the girls did.
I don't know what her name was, but she's got Velma, and Velma was one of the girls' names.
One of the King.
Effie,
One of the King girls' names. Effie.
You done got them.
Okay, Effie and Velma. The other one must have been Lois.
Yeah,
There was a Lois.
it might have been Lois.
She married my half brother.
They was married a long time
They
ago.
didn't know the other, and it must have been Lois. There was 3 girls when King married my brother.
So did we figure out how Lois
That's what we've been trying to
is
figure out.
supposed to be your dad's sister, and when she married Harry, that's what married her?
It must have been what it was. Because when King,
How can that be, though?
well, they weren't really, they were stepsisters.
Stepsister.
Because King married my grandmother, and he already had those 3 girls.
Tom,
Velma, Effie, and he don't remember the other, and it must have been
But you got it halfway figured out, though, right?
Who?
You.
Well, that's what he's telling me, that he had 3 girls. One was Velma, one was Effie, and he didn't know the other one's name, so that might be Lois.
well, she was married to Thomas a whole lot long ago.
One of them married Thomas.
Yeah. Thomas was your grandma's brother. Thomas Dennis was your grandma's brother. And him and the King girl married while she was living with the other fellow. But when they separated, she married the King.
Thomas Finley, Effie married Luke Robert.
Okay.
He had a son named Harry Lee. this is him, he never seen it. He said he come back in 20 years, but he didn't see it.
Oh, okay. I don't think he brought his family, none of his family with him. I don't think he did. He come to Clarence to his mama.
He brought us there when I was small to see Grandma before she died. And she died shortly after that. She was sick.
So y'all was his mama living?
Yeah. She was in the bed, sick. She was in the bed.
I don't know about the other. I wasn't up there when the big Harvey. I couldn't look there. But I was, you know, there. Herbie right beside of her. Both of them died in
You see, I was born in 47, and they died, or Harvey did, what, around 50, 51? No,
up in the 50s.
Yes, sir, it was in the 50s. I took something different.
Then 10 or 15 years after that, then Herbie died. They both died in that TB sanitarium, man.
Yep. I knew Harvey did, but I didn't know about Herbie.
Herbie stayed there 3 years.
Yeah.
Hey, Papa.
And Lavinia was up there. She got there in time for me.
Yeah. Well, see,
He children of Harvey, they come up a hard way.
yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. I did too. I guarantee you. But where they're buried at the church house there at New Chapel Hill,
Yeah,
I was raised right before you get to that graveyard. There was a road called Rosie Road. I was born and raised in an old log house right there, the last one in that community. Me and Daddy, because my mama died when I was a year and a month old. I was just a baby. Daddy never did remarry, and he was 47 when I was born. And I was raised right there in that community where they buried it. So, and then Daddy's buried going around from that graveyard on Highway 15. There's one called.
I don't know what went wrong with them now, but I was raised all around Charles.
What kind of work did you do?
I didn't do nothing but farm before I got, when they started in with these factories and things. They had that age limit law on, and I couldn't do nothing. Just hard job, you see. So finally, they lifted that, and I got on. I worked 5 years at piano plant, Baldwin piano plant. And that's where I could build up my Social Security. I've been getting no Social Security.
I hear you. Well, how old are you now?
If I live to be the 6th next month, I'll be 92.
92. Good gracious. You get around a lot better than a lot of 60-year-olds I see.
Yeah, I tell you, a lot of them, like I do, they wouldn't be doing nothing. But it's difference in people. I can't, time don't pass off if I can't get out and move around.
Yes, sir.
If I sit down, if I just sat down, I'd get to where I couldn't move more.
I know what you're
I
talking
got
about.
that off.
I see that. I see that. Fingers.
And my back. But I'm thankful.
Yes, sir.
I'm thankful.
I know exactly what you're
See,
talking
back when we was coming up, I'm ashamed of not knowing no more about my people and what I do. But when we all come up, there wasn't no way to transfer, but in a wagon and train. Well, you couldn't get train fare back then.
That's true. That's the truth.
When a boy got old enough to leave home and go to work, with no kind of work to do but get out folks at arm for wages, work for a farmer. And he'd pay him $12 or $15 a month in board. And there was no hours. You worked all the time. They'd get you up by daylight, before breakfast, put you in there cutting stone wood. They're gonna find something for you to do.
And you work till after dark.
And you work till after dark.
That's right.
There's lots we didn't know. It ain't gonna be as good as what it is. What these folks is coming
It's
on.
gonna be hard.
Cause this stuff is gonna, they think the government can't play out. But this stuff's gonna play out. It's done got to where the laws has been changed. We don't know what the law is because when we come up, every generation yell about changing law.
I agree with
The
you.
lifestyle of living and everything.
I agree with you. And besides that, the niggers taking over.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a bad thing.
Well,
Golly, I ain't never seen nothing like it. That ain't right. That ain't
Well,
right.
it's
There ain't
not
nothing to do
right,
about
but
it.
here's another thing. It wasn't right the way the white
slave,
folks
yeah.
treated them. But now they've got revenge and they've got to, all white people didn't treat them that way.
That's a
But
fact.
they think they do.
They just use that for an excuse.
That's right.
That's
But,
all it is.
ain't nothing you can do about it. They're gonna outnumber you. They're gonna outnumber you.
Well, they killing one another off.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for our kids to get good jobs because even though they're qualified to do the job, more qualified than what the others are.
Well,
Look what happened. You know, they got to put a black or an Oriental or whatever.
We have to use minority contractors, and then we have to do their job because they're not qualified
white
to do it.
people cut down on raising families.
That's
And
it.
colored people, they just started. Because there ain't nothing folks can do about it, but time just got to take the course.
Yeah, I just hope it come back around in our favor somewhere down there.
Yeah.
Ernest, do you remember the?
Folks are really living in revelation. I think we there.
Getting close, I guarantee you. Getting close.
Folks
What was you
think the Lord ain't got nothing to do with this world no more.
You're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Ernest, what was your baby sister's name that died? You remember?
Now look at her.
He's talking to he's talking to you.
Could you ask him that? So
Oh
he
yeah,
can
okay. I said,
I can't understand.
oh okay. He wanted to know what your baby sister's that died name was.
Well, one of them was named Oprah May, and one of them Agnes.
Maggie or Agnes?
And one of them was small, and I don't know whether
Did he say Opal May? And Agnes. And Agnes, right?
Agnes died, she got burnt. She was about 6 years old.
And she must have been named after your grandma.
Ah,
Your grandma was named Agnes, right? I mean your, your grandma.
I don't know.
Don't know her name?
No, didn't tell.
He said your grandmother's name was Agnes?
The one your grandpa married first?
I don't remember. I do.
But she died young, right?
You see, that died when Papa was little. Uncle Dave was little when she died.
So that goes way back.
Yeah, that was because Dave died before 1910. Dave died before 1910, right?
Uncle Dave died around
Oh, I sure don't.
12 or 13.
Yeah.
Clayton, I think he's got 6 more.
Okay. Yeah, he lived after 1910. That's right. 12 or 13.
He died just before Mama did. Mama died in July 1917.
Yeah.
I was what, baby?
Lady, here's me. I wanted it for the calf and not just to keep the sun out of his eyes.
Listen to him talk about the old times like, did you ever see any westerns?
Huh?
You ever seen any westerns? Oh, okay. Tell me about my grandfather.
Okay.
I'm Henry Howell. You know the Howell? You hear me?
No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a Hal?
Yeah.
Okay. You get that information from Mo and I gave you.
But tell me about my grandmother,
I don't know
Jenny.
too much about Jenny.
Yeah.
Well,
Jenny, what was she like? She was mean in the yard, dog, wasn't she?
I heard that. I heard she was.
Well, I mean, I'm not lying. She was tough. Jenny? Jenny, do you not, you don't remember her, y'all? Boy, tell me, let me see, who's the Taylor? Who's the Taylor?
She married a Taylor, right?
no, I don't.
Did they have any kids? Taylor kids?
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, my mother was. She was Taylor.
Now, yours,
He comes out with a new tape, I'll see if you heard his tape yet? I listened to one.
Janet, right?
Do you remember James Howell?
Yeah.
James?
I didn't know much about him, but I remember. Janet, grandma, was James'
A what?
sister.
Yeah.
I got one on her.
I wish you knew where your cake was, honey.
There it is. And this flower. What did I
That's that Snoop's name.
Close up. Y'all gonna have to back up a little bit. You're too close right here.
Now you come over here and do that.
Enjoyed it.
Look into the camera, look into the camera.
Frank and I played, you know, we were just kids too. We just get out and play with the kids, and we wasn't anything but kids ourselves, you know. We'd not wasp nested, and we lived across the field, and then there was a wasp nest on the trees all across there, and we'd go there, and we'd knock those wasp nests, and then we'd lay down on the ground and wasp. Wonder we hadn't got stung, but we don't remember if we ever did. And then they had his daddy had a dairy. They milked cows, and they would milk the cow. Got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Frank goes out and help them milk the cows. You know, Frank and Alvis and his daddy. I don't think JC wasn't big enough for George. Anyway, they would milk those cows, and down across the field there was a road that went to Farmersville, and the people from Farmersville would drive along there and pick up the gallons of milk every morning when they did. They'd milk the cows, they'd go down there, they'd empty big cans, you've seen cans like that. And they'd take it down to the road and set it by the mailbox, and the people from town would come along and pick up that milk.
Yeah, me and JC carried the milk over there in a buggy to the highway where the truck could stop and get it.
And I guess they took it to town, and was there creamery up there? What did they do with it?
I don't know.
I think there was a creamery in Farmersville, and I don't know what they did with it either.
How long did y'all have the dairy?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe about 2 or 3 years. I don't remember really.
He was 4 years old when me and Frank married.
I was about 6. I was about 6 years old. And I drove the horse around the hay baler. We baled hay. We baled hay.
Baled hay.
We baled hay, you remember?
Yeah.
And I rode the horse around the hay baler.
I just see that old road catch you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We lived in a big house over across the field from Laverne, about that high cotton head. She'd slip off and go over to their house, you know. And his mother had geese. She picked those geese every year, and she made feather beds for all of us, you know. And they had an old gander, and I was scared to death of that old gander. I'd go over there, and he'd take out after me.
Yeah, those are mean, I hear.
Yeah, he was mean. He'd take out after me too. He bit me a lot of times.
Yeah, he was mean, old rascal.
They don't have any teeth, do they?
Huh?
They don't have any teeth, do they?
Yeah.
They do. I guess that hurt pretty bad then.
His mother, in the fall, I think it was in the fall, when she picked those geese, and she'd get them all in a pen, and she'd take them one at a time. She'd pick the feathers out of them, put them in a sack, and she made every one of them, Edward, Vera, me and Frank, a feather bed. And she had feather beds in all her rooms, you know. She made feather beds. I guess they were good old days. I don't know if there was or not.
Yeah.
We didn't know the difference. So we had a lot of fun anyway.
We had a lot of
JC
fun
and
growing
I
up.
with little boys, you know.
I don't think there was a lot of meanness like it is now, and we just had a good time.
Too many things to get in trouble with nowadays.
we didn't have TVs to watch all the meanness, and there wasn't a lot of people. Everybody was almost in the same boat, so we just had a good old all-American good time.
Yeah. Kids now have too many bad things to watch on TV, and
Yeah.
you learn too many bad things, I guess.
They don't know how to play.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't know how to play. We played with whatever was handy, you know, and had a good time with it. I guess we didn't know the difference, but I remember such good times. I remember when Daddy go down to the barn and there'd be some pigs, and he'd come wake us up, and we'd go running down to the barn to see all those new pigs.
Yeah.
And a new calf, and all that was great fun. I mean, that was an experience in our life.
Yeah.
Frank and Alvis would go down on the river and kill rabbits, bring them, clean them, you know. And his mother could cook them. I never could cook rabbits like she could, but she had a wood stove, a big old wood stove, and she would put those in a pan and roll them in flour and put them in a pan, put water over them. She'd put them in the oven and cook them. Oh, they were delicious.
Yeah, they was.
I never could cook them like she could. She was a good cook.
Uncle Alvis's daughter was telling us about them cooking those rabbits. Surely.
Well, we had a lot of good times. We had a lot of bad times too. We went through that Great Depression, you know, and times were so hard, but, you know, it didn't bother us too much, you know. We
Just made it somehow, huh?
we were young, we just
I
went on
remember
through it, you
Grandma
know.
making
Did the best we
biscuits
could.
in a round wooden bowl, and there's a whole bunch of people she made. I thought there's a whole bunch of biscuits. Anyhow, that she or somebody made me a stool to stand up there. She's teaching me how to, I guess. Anyhow, I was watching her make biscuits and put them in the pan. Just a
I
whole
sure
bunch
would
of
love to go
us
through
funny.
those times again, though.
Yeah.
Good old days.
We just, you know, we were young, healthy, and we just went right on through it. It didn't bother us too much. We'd go to Farmersville on Saturday night. It cost a nickel to get into the show, you know. We'd go to the moving picture show. A nickel was pretty valuable, though. And then if we had nickel to spare, we'd come out and get some popcorn. And we'd get in a wagon to go home and eat popcorn on the way home. We thought we were having a good time.
Well, you were, I guess.
Yeah, we was.
Yeah, we had a lot of good times and bad times. We didn't know the difference. We just went on through it, you know. I cherish the memories of those times, though, you know. We had our ups and downs, and we lived through it.
Yeah, those times make us stronger.
Yeah,
Those hard times make us stronger, I think.
yeah. Well, the Lord took care of us, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
He did.
Can I
He
get
took
y'all a
care of
plate
us.
of some chicken and potatoes and...
Well, y'all go ahead and eat. I'm not really too hungry. Are you hungry, Dad?
No,
You sure I can't fix you something?
I'm not hungry.
Give some more
Well,
tea.
y'all just well
Yeah.
eat with us. I've talked your head off.
No, that's good. That's good.
Give some more tea, Uncle
I,
Robert.
I've enjoyed my family, you know. We went through some bad times, but we had some good times too, you know. It took a lot of courage, but we didn't, you know, people commit suicide now. We didn't think about anything like that. We just accepted the times as it was, you know. And, we didn't. But we trusted the Lord. I trusted the Lord when Tom was 12 years old. And He took care of us.
Yeah.
And, I was saved when I was 12 years old, Pike, Texas, the Baptist church. I always knew from that time on the Lord to take care of me.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he does.
And I still trust him. He'll take care of me to the all the way.
That's right.
And when I'm gone, I want you to conduct my funeral.
I will. I will do that. I will do that.
I'd be honored if you would.
I would.
I've been a Christian since I was 12 years old. I don't mean I've lived a perfect life, don't by no means,
None of us have.
no, but I've tried to do the very best I could. We raised 4 good girls. We had hard times, we had good times, you know, but we always tried to live right. And I took the girls to church. Because of Frank's work, he didn't go to church a whole lot, but he went when he could. But he saw that the girls went with me if he could go. So they grew up good girls. They're good girls. They are mine, you know. They never give us any trouble. That one, she's mean, you know.
Yeah.
Mean to her, good girls. I'm proud of them. You know, they're all right.
What songs do you like?
Huh?
What kind of hymns do you like?
What church?
What song?
What songs do you like?
What?
What kind of songs would you like at your funeral?
Songs. What's your favorite songs? La da da da. Songs.
I'll write it down.
I'm sorry.
Hey, May said she fell.
Yeah,
How did she fall?
My favorite
she
song
just
is
walked
Jesus
across
is
the
all the
kitchen
world to
and
me.
fell, and she
That
fell
is
into the
my
icebox.
testimony. He
And
is all the world.
we had some of them
He's
letters,
carried
you
me
know, what
through
sticks
all
on the
these years.
icebox,
Uh-huh.
and
he
it
is-
bruised her back.
I couldn't have made it
And,
without him. So he is all the
it,
world to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my favorite
I
song.
wasn't in
Did you
there.
know it?
I was in the back room and
I think
dressing,
so.
and,
Any other ones?
taking a bath, and she called me, and I went in there, and she was sitting down on the floor,
Well,
She couldn't
if the
get
girls
up.
want more than one song,
and
I say, and the sweet
called
band
everybody
I
to
love that song.
come and get her
And
up. And Doy's a
I was
fireman,
saved when I was 12 years old. I attended church all
and
my
him
life.
and
I taught Sunday
him and a
school for
woman.
many years.
a fireman came
And
over there.
I taught the adults and I taught the young people. I've always been partial to the young people, you know.
She didn't
I
break
still
nothing
am.
then.
They have
No,
such a
she
hard
didn't
time.
break
with it.
Bruised herself.
Yeah, they do.
And I've always, I'm a Baptist by belief.
Well,
And
that's about the way Mama was. I don't know how it kept from breaking her back when she fell into the
I could
bathtub.
not have
She
made it
wasn't in
through
the
life
bathtub,
without the Lord.
but she
Right.
fell into it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how in the world it kept from breaking her back.
There's a
Well,
there's
Doy,
a verse
I mean,
when I fall down,
Thomas,
he picks me up.
fell
and
into
carries
the
me,
bathtub
you know. We
one
fall
time.
sometimes, don't
when
we?
he was young,
And he picks me up
he was
and carries
young,
me
and
till I can
it was
say,
after he had
"I'm
that
gonna see you again,"
stroke.
you know.
he fell into
And,
the
So
bathtub,
he's
and we had to call the
he's
fire
all the world
department
to
out
me,
there
you know.
to get him out.
And
Yeah,
I
I should
want
have
to-
called the fire department to get Mama out. But, you know, I
I know that when
panicked.
I leave this
And
world,
she
I'm
did
going to a
too.
better place.
And so I managed to somehow
I
pull
was
her out of
saved
the
when I
tub.
was 12 years
And,
old, and I tried to live a Christian life.
She was
ever
trying to
since.
hold on to that,
I don't say that I've
place
been
where you put
perfect, I never will,
soap.
but I've
pull that
tried.
out of the wall.
I taught Sunday school
But we
for
got her
many
out, but she-
years.
She
I
was
taught
all
young
right, except
people,
just banged
and I
up.
taught the adults, you know.
It's a
And,
wonder she had
The young
broke some
people,
bones.
Ooh,
I like to
reckon so.
say that I helped a lot
I
of them,
just
you know,
don't know.
through life.
It was just a
Maybe some of
miracle.
them fell by the way.
The way she
and I
fell
tried,
could have broke
you
her
know.
back.
Yeah.
And
She
I like
had
to
a
think
knot
that
on
I
the back
helped
of her
a
head
lot
for
of
a
them
good
through
while.
life, you know. And I've always loved the church. I've always loved the Lord's work. I worked with the women, WMU, you know, and things like that. And so I have tried to live the very best life I could. And
Debbie.
To who?
Debbie, Uncle JC's second wife. Whatever happened to her?
Yeah, she lived
Yeah.
over in Mesquite somewhere,
Oh,
I
does
think.
she? Last time I ever even heard from her at all, I believe she lived in Waco. I'm not for sure.
Yeah, I worked in WVU for many years, you know.
That was many years ago, my
Yeah.
goodness.
Well, of course,
Was it her son that,
in the script
where
was
the,
it
he
talks about
rode
the
in
Lord's
horse
salvation, you
racing?
know. And
Was it her son or
I like
Her
her
grandson.
grandson
Oh,
Uh-huh,
was the jockey?
yeah.
yeah. And
Let's see, he,
I
a
know
lot
that
of times he was down here and when this
when
race
I
track
leave this
opened.
world, I'm going to
Yeah.
heaven, you know. I know
Rode down
that.
there a lot.
Because
Yeah,
I
he
had
won a lot
trusted
of
the race until I
races.
was 12 years
Yeah.
old.
Right.
And
But he wasn't there.
I have a lot of loved ones in
Last
heaven,
year,
and I'm looking forward to
I didn't see
seeing
his name on the
Yeah.
deal, so I just
I've done
wondered
the
if he
best I
went
could.
someplace else
I've raised
I don't
4
know.
or
girls.
retired.
None
from
of
it.
them has ever given us any trouble, you know. We
Last time I seen
Frank and I
him
did the
was
very
at
best we
JC's
could with
funeral.
them. We weren't rich people by any means, but we did the very best we could. We saw that our girls come first, and then us, you know. And we never put ourselves ahead of them. Frank was a good man, he was a good daddy. He didn't always go to church because of his work, you know. But he saw to it that the girls went with me. And he was a Christian. And he told me, when I kissed him goodbye, he told me that he would see me in heaven.
He
So
will.
he will.
He will.
And
Yeah, Daddy was a great man.
Mhm.
Everybody loved him.
Yeah.
People he worked for loved him. They just loved him to pieces. But he couldn't help it. He had
Yeah.
that silly little grin. Oh, he was a wonderful person.
What kind of work did he do?
Well, he worked for the cotton mill for many years, but he was at Chance Vault. He'd make
Oh,
them
yeah,
make tools. And then the last place he worked was at that Brook Hollow
At the
Country
golf
Club at the
Yeah.
golf course.
Mhm.
And that man just worshiped Daddy over there.
Yeah.
But Daddy was so good, I don't know how that kept from loving him, right?
Yeah.
He was a good fella.
Mhm.
I think that the funeral is a good time to bring out salvation. There'll be a lot of
Sure
people there that's unsaved. So it's a
Right.
good time to talk about salvation.
It is.
And so that's the theme I would like you to talk about.
I sure will. That's the best one to have.
Yeah. Because
A lot of people are thinking
You
about
know,
that at that time.
it won't be long. I'm getting way up in years, you know, so I know I don't dread it. I'm not afraid, you know. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
And so I just want to pray that all my family will meet me there, you know. That's what I want. And Frank told me that he was ready to go, and so I know he's there, you know. He wasn't a big church goer or anything like that, but he saw to it that the girls went, and he lived a good life, and he saw to it that I had a way to church, you know, and because of his lack of education, you know, he wasn't active in the church, but he was a Christian, and so
Somebody for a
I'm
lack of
looking forward to
education, he
seeing
was
him
a very
again.
smart man.
Yeah.
He could figure things out.
Mhm.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
He sure could. That's
Yeah.
what they did at Chance Vault when he worked over there.
Mhm.
They couldn't raise him because of his
Because of
education,
yeah.
but they gave him, you know, he
But
got
he
to
probably
do.
trained everybody, didn't he?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
He was something.
Frank was a he was a good man, you know, he was good. You know, he didn't curse, he didn't drink, he was quiet. He lived his life, and, you know, and he saw that the girls went to church with me, and he saw we had a way to go to church, you know, and he was a good man.
Mhm. Well, do y'all wanna eat lunch? We don't wanna stop y'all from eating lunch.
No, you're not, but I'd like for you to eat if you will.
Well, I'll eat a little bit. You wanna eat a little bit?
Yeah.
We'll eat some.
Well, Dory, you're just, you know what to say about me. Not a big talker, I am. I love to talk. I love people. I really do love people. I love everybody, you know. And I'm a Christian. I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid, you know. I have a lot of loved ones I'm going to see. I'm looking forward to God with it. I'm ready when the Lord calls me.
Yeah, that's good. You will see him. See him.
You can be sure of that.
Okay, let's go eat.
Oh, you
Yeah, he's on.
I've been coaching, I didn't have
I didn't make him sick, he was just mad because they got him in there and had that operation. He had to have it, he was real bad.
Well, not if you ever put them sleep. They put them in there, they may take them out before you wake up. I'm amazed I got any operation.
I have been put sick once, that's when I had that last operation.
Granddad Brothers do got a big one, but he's supposed to leave it. Yeah, he got one. He got
Well, my dog had surgery, just got that.
Yeah.
But now, he looks good.
Yeah, that drainage is.
But she said he gets off. He gets off the house. He can't find his way back.
Yeah, now, so, you know, he used to be able to get out and do things, but, you know, they said there's still a walk off somewhere.
Get thirsty.
Then they came over. I don't know, but I still have it.
You bring Coke for me?
Quit saying shut up. You gotta put the last bit one in there.
I don't think
That's
got one, because we used to come out there and just eat.
This stuff, that's hard, it's like tough.
Well, that's the way
I don't know where anything is got far in.
Keep camera on.
1925, 26,
They had that at their
24,
anniversary. I
lived in
don't
Florida,
see it sometimes.
two persons walking around.
He didn't remember, he didn't have to turn on all the
I
time.
lived on that body, I walked all the way across through the woods.
He plays with them every chance he gets.
No, wait, he's
They took him.
Y'all can move. I can move with this.
You don't have to be still with him. You don't have to be still.
You don't have to talk. You don't play the. Still gets hard.
Little bit.
Yeah, but let me tell you,
I'll come back. I'll go and see kids.
Good shit, just like you
Dominoes. Yeah.
Really, Friday? Well, they might be. Yeah, they might be. Just look for us when you see us stop.
Tired.
So we got Okay, I'll give you a hug. I'll be out there in a minute. Bye-bye, you take care. I'm gonna take Daddy home. I'll probably come back and get butter. But
oh my dog. But here's another one of them things over
it's
here.
not a scorpion, it's a gigantic bug. Try to come away. I don't think you can kill them things very easily.
Stay away from the crack.
Yeah.
If you don't want to,
Caitlin's scared
Oh.
to death.
She is. I'm gonna put you on there. I'll come back. Well, if Bonnie and them wants to come back, Mother, you want to go? I'll probably come back. Oh, if you leave her over here under this thing.
I got him.
Woo.
You leaving? I'm mad. I don't know how big it get a little of it. They got these shoes. They're rich out there.
Well, you know, as much good as that is not the time we're having, I'm gonna have to go back home where I'm gonna have to.
Come on,
Here they come.
But I know she's sick the other day.
She's pretty sick all the time.
Well, she have
Well, I've been wondering if all of them look much alike, or we got ourselves on.
Maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
We take care of each other.
Well,
Once I got
we're on job going.
you know.
Well, that's about his speed. He stayed a pretty good while. He stayed a pretty good while.
Y'all going on an Easter egg hunt?
Got a sauce for you. Yeah, let me get out of the way. Ain't me, you get over here when I get through. Should have brought a little shovel. Make a little hole. Set that basket and it blow away.
Real uncomfortable.
Huh? Yeah, I think so.
Wouldn't be another back here.
Should have brought a little shovel.
Well, yeah, you know, most of the time people think bring a shovel, but this time we did.
Why not?
That's what I was thinking. I said, oh, you just you jump your finger.
Well, Doy, why don't you just go ahead and set it on there so Doy can take a picture and then dig the hole later.
They just about got it.
Y'all might could get a job out here.
Yeah. I believe they could.
You know, it's not big enough, is it?
Well, that ought to be big.
Well, wait a minute, that ain't me. That ain't me. Get up.
You got to turn bottom side up. That's right, yeah. Now. I know it. That's the way the claim to turn them nowadays. Yeah, you should put there and 87.